What's up, guys? So, yesterday, while I was on my way to work, for some reason, I had the most random thought ever, and that was if society was designed in my image, as in my behavior, my personality, the way that I manifest, if everyone sort of acted and not necessarily thought like me, but just the way you behave, if it was based on the my brain just came up with some interesting responses and scenarios, so I am going to try to break that down for you because I don't know what is up with my brain lately, but it has been all over the place. And the first thing that I thought about was the world would be so much quieter. Like lunchtime at work is usually incredibly stressful sometimes because of the noise level. Like there's just I cannot hear the people around me very clearly sometimes, especially if you're soft spoken, because there's the noise from the crowd, the noise from, children, which sometimes you cannot really help that one. But just some people are just loud with their voice, but also the way that they move. Like you're bumping into stuff, you're dropping cutlery, you are just, you don't know how to place something down, you slam it down because you're just a strong person or something. But for me, I've always been someone who treats openings. Part of our opening checklist is we have to put down chairs from on top of the tables onto the ground. Well, not everyone who collaborates with me on that one does it the same way. Like some people take shortcuts and they sort of grasp onto the chairs and they let them slide off their hands and then it slams into the ground and it produces this loud metallic sound. So some people can take that noise, some people cannot. Or sometimes as you're putting down the tables, that leg or putting down the chair, the leg of the chair bumps against another chair, which is producing yet another metallic sound. And it's just noise and noise and noise. I'm just one of those people who I try to do everything as gently as I can. And even closing the door of my car. Sometimes I hate giving people rides in my car because you just do not know how to bring the door with you after you sat down and then close it. But instead, you gotta sort of like gain so much momentum, and then I hear it slam, and then the whole car rocks, and I'm like, fuck, be gentle. But of course, I don't say anything because that shy person in me, I can't do it. But seriously, do not slam doors. Something about that stresses me out. I don't know if it's because I heard it a lot as a kid, but something about loud noises that are unnecessary like that just stress me out. And then other times is when you open the door and you let the door open all the way. And I'm like, dude, are you going to detach the door from the body of the car? Just stuff like that, minor details, they are minor details, but because I don't do it and because I was taught to not do that, to always be gentle, to not slam things, to not let things drop, to not let things collide against other things, that's what makes me say I think the world would just be a quieter place, not just from verbal sounds but just noises in general you know I also think that the incidence of accidents would be greatly reduced. Like, I may be clumsy from time to time, but I have never had a huge accident. Like, I guess the worst thing was this thing, but that was when I was a kid. I was playing a sport and I got hit in the face. So that's where this came from. But that wasn't even an accident that happened directly as a result of me. It was I happened to be in a wrong spot and then someone didn't notice that I was there and they went ahead and did their swinging, and then I got clipped in the middle of the move, you know? So because I pay attention to my surround me like that, I am not very accident prone. Like the scars that I have in my body, very, very minimal. They're the results of either me falling and then my skin can only take so much, like it scrapes easily, stuff like that. But it's not like, wow, I had an accident to where I got sliced by some machine, something that's sharp or something like that. No, nothing like that. It's more of a, tripping type of deal due to clumsiness. Um, but I seriously think that emergency visits would be rare. But then again, I know that I have to consider the fact that not everyone's walk in life is the same. So the more to danger that you are exposed, the more prone that you are to being injured severely. But I guess I don't want to say that society cannot advance if you are the way that I am. I'm just saying that all that we are altering is your mm, behavior, like the way that you not the way that you think, but how you manifest. Like not that you're incapable of accomplishing the things that with your talents you have accomplished. It's more of a attitude type of deal that I'm addressing here. You guys would still be guys, you guys would still be strong and be inventors, and we the women would still be, excellent teachers, excellent at raising kids, or whatever the fuck we excel at, But when it comes to that type of behavior, just the world would be a whole lot quieter and a little bit on the not as much injury. Also, what makes me say that is I never cut corners. I follow instructions. I believe that I am excellent at following instructions. Like, if you trained me to follow stuff in a certain pattern, in a certain order, I will stick to that no matter what. Unless, of course, there's an emergency, unforeseen circumstance that just gets in the way. And of course, we have to abort what we're doing or just skip it altogether. But I know so many people who take the lazy way out of things. And if you go through life the way that I see it, it's like, no, if this is how it's established, if this is how it's on paper, and this is what I signed to say that I would do, that is how it will get done. So, so yeah. But honestly, I would look forward the most to a quieter world and also a much safer road. Because let me tell you, I'm not saying that I'm a perfect driver, but the mistakes that I make tend to be miscalculating how long a yellow light is, and then sometimes the light happens to turn yellow right as I'm crossing the intersection, or minimal stuff like that. But I never run through stop signs. Fuck. I never run through stop signs. And I see so many people who do the bare minimum. They either sort of slow down but keep rolling, or they slow down but do not come to a complete stop, or it's I always come to a complete stop, and I happen to just look at my rear view mirror and I see the driver behind me giving me like a non-verbal attitude, and I'm like, bitch, unless you are going to pay for the ticket, if there happens to be a cop here and you are going to go through the trouble of cleaning my record, I am going to obey the sign that says stop. It doesn't say fuck, it doesn't say shit, it doesn't say hell, it says so. The world would be far more obedient, put it that way, respectful of the rules that are in place, and not being like, that doesn't happen to me, or it doesn't matter because nobody is watching, so it's okay to do the wrong thing. No, integrity would be pretty much at the top of everything. I can say that I am proud of the person I am, of the worker that I am, of the friend that I am. Because if I fail at something, it's because either I just was out of it, or I was unaware of something, or it's the human factor getting in the way. It's not voluntary negligence. That's what I'm trying to say. And I feel like so much bullshit tragedies that happen in the world are perfectly preventable, but people just choose to not do the right thing when they are supposed to. So, so yeah. Let me get back to what you guys are commenting so that I don't get too off. Hi Zamri. Hi Jordan. Today's my birthday, just turning 29. Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. My birthday is coming up in about one more month. So, of course, I will make a video about it, but in case you're curious. How am I doing today? I'm doing pretty well. It's been a relatively challenging past week, I'm not even going to lie. But I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling very, very well. Let's see. Yes, Zamri, people need to change their ways, not being so scared. There are secret societies in the world, not pro- purpose to joining them, not purpose joining them. People driving so scary when it's Friday, Thursday, or on a sunny day. Oh, tell me about it. Oh, and even on rainy days and like snowy days. My God, snow days are the worst because for some reason people still want to drive at the same speed as if the road were dry. I'm like, no, you cannot do that because you're going to slip, creature. Especially if you don't have your car settings or set up to be, like slip resistant or whatever the proper term for that is. It's just crazy to me. Let's see. People driving so crazy when trying. Okay. Most people want to show off, but when people driving so fast, seeing the cops, the traffic started to slow down like traffic jam. So funny, everyone turned nice. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I'm so glad you mentioned that. I am the same driver consistently. It's like when people are dating. Like for some reason, when your date is there, you have to act all diva, all queen, all perfect, all sweet, all kind, all. But then the moment that your special person is not there, you just act different. Why do you have to show off when someone is there? Be consistent, please. Like it's okay that you'll give that special person a little bit of a special treatment because hello, that's what they represent in your life. But I think it's crazy that your behavior changes so dramatically. So with cops it's the same thing. All of a sudden everyone starts slowing down, everyone comes to complete stops. It's so unnatural, it drives me crazy. Like, why start doing the right thing when the cop is there, when the intent is supposed to be you will do the right thing under every single circumstance? And then people go over for speeding. I'm like, mother effer, the sign was there and your car is perfectly capable of driving at that speed. Why are you putting yourself in trouble? When I drive, I have nothing to fear because I'm doing everything as perfectly as I can. And therefore, when I see a cop, I don't even notice that they're there. I know people who drive like scanning for cops, and I'm like, no, I don't live like that. I don't have to live a life of worry because I'm doing the right thing to begin with to avoid that type of disaster. I do not impose stress on myself. And if I want to get somewhere on time, how about if I leave early so I don't have to be speeding and worrying about being late? So, to anyone who says, oh, I'm speeding because I'm late for something, like I'm late for work, well, that is your fault. How about if you leave 15, 20 to 30 minutes earlier? It doesn't even matter what your commute is. Add those 30 minutes to your regular commute, and then you'll be extra, 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 extra safe. But like, I cannot feel sympathy for anyone who deliberately breaks the rules and they get in trouble because someone else was doing their job of enforcing them. I'm like, no, if you don't want to owe anything to anybody, how about if you always do the right thing. No excuses. I just, like, if I get a ticket for whatever reason, I will deserve it. But I'm like, if it's not my fault, if I didn't do anything wrong, why am I worried and fearing in the first place? So how about if you just dedicate to doing things right, and life will treat you so much better? It's really that simple. It really, really is that simple. Very funny. How likely would we be to conquer the world with that type of behavior? This is only a viable lifestyle in the 21st century. Like I said, that's why I'm like, if the world were like me, like seeing things like me, it doesn't take away from the fact that there's curious people and there's people with their natural talents and stuff. I'm just saying, if the way that I am is I'm pretty much a quiet person, and I obey the rules, and I am very confident in my integrity and consistency. So if everybody were like that, what results would you see in your life? So for me, it's my stuff tends to last a long time. Like, for me to break something, it just takes a long time. Usually something fails on me due to normal wear and tear and stuff like that. But anyways, and then when it comes to behavior in public, there would be so many, like, the altercations would be fewer. Like, I know people who make a big deal out of someone sitting somewhere because, this is my favorite spot. It has the outlet. I want to sit here, and you just fight your way through it all. Like arguments, arguing with customer service people. I am just so chill and laid back that I cannot imagine in a world where everyone is kind of wired like me. I cannot imagine me ever witnessing an altercation between a customer and someone in customer service, like a worker. I just cannot imagine that. Like, unless you just go out of your way to really, really bother someone, which is not in me to do. For some reason, I felt that might happen because the weather is going to shit around here, so we're just gonna roll with it. Um, let's see. And besides, in my mind, I really don't have that conquer the world mindset. So when it comes to politics, I don't know how that would be done. But one thing I can tell you for sure, because I know that I'm a living, breathing creature, I feel like I have a right to the entirety of the planet for exploration. So stuff like immigration and junk, it would not be so cracked down on. Because let me tell you, like right now, I have thoughts about going somewhere right now, and it seems so intimidating and so difficult that all I want to do is cross the pond so that I can go be with someone, and then it's impossible because of all these strict regulations and paperwork and laws that you gotta follow simply because of your incidental place of birth. To me, that's insane. It's stressful, it sucks, it's discouraging. But I mean, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? But I cannot imagine the politics that exist in current times to be as severe, because with my mindset, I'm not thinking about conquering the world. Um, but I do understand that in order for the commodities that exist in the present, very messed up things had to happen so that we could progress like this. But I don't know. If we have the commodities already, I would be just so chill and just laid back about stuff. Just why complicate life? The thing about driving is it doesn't matter how good a driver you are, but how good the worst one you encounter is. So if everyone was respectful like that, accidents would go right the hell down. Who are all the men on your wall behind you? Well, there's some actors that I like, some friends of mine, and just more actors that I like, and then just musicians that I like, and just pretty much, if I like what you look like, you are in my wall, period. So that's why there are many variations of the same person, too. Uh, Hi everyone. I hate people driving so fast when people crossing the street blowing the horn. I hate so much. Oh my god, yes. Yes, I cannot imagine a pedestrian like getting run over in a society where everyone thinks and drives like I do. The only way that I can see an accident happening is, when you're on your seat and there's like this thing between the windshield and your door seam, and then door, the door's window, that creates a blind spot when you're really close proximity with it. So I think accidents would happen as a result of blind spots, but not a result of negligence. But in a situation like that, what you do is you slow the hell down, and every couple of steps that your car takes, like every few feet, you move around to make sure that all your field of vision is accounted for. And that is why I have not hit anybody in my years driving. So just be responsible. If you are aware of your blind spots, then you will take extra precaution. It's that simple. It really is that simple. Imagine if Einstein or Newton only followed the guidelines. It takes someone to say, no, I don't agree for us to progress. I mean, this is not saying that we're going to limit um, your ability to think outside the box, your ability to take risks and everything. It's just that if you want to take risks, you are allowed to, but be like, okay, this is the established guideline. What would happen if we bent this? Can we try that? And in my society, like in my way of looking at things, I am a very open person, like open to ideas and possibilities and everything. So you would pretty much be granted the green light to take risks and bend the rules here and there in the name of discovery and experimenting and stuff. But what I mean is, if you deliberately, irresponsibly decide to bend rules and the consequences that follow as a result of that, that are usually incredibly negative, those would be diminished. And that is what I mean. So, yes, you would be encouraged to take risks, to take dares and everything, but it would be less sanctioned, I guess, because it would be sort of, I don't want to say controlled, but within reason. You know, you guys can still do your thing of experimenting, I don't know, paragliding or something, parasailing, whatever it is that you want to do. But everything would be more orderly. That's what I'm trying to say. But it doesn't mean that I'm trying to take away people's uh, abilities and rights to like explore life. You can still do that. But I'm just saying that a lot of people would not be hurt so unnecessarily due to neglect. Um, People rushing so much when they are driving. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Yes, you're telling nothing but the truth. Drunk driving is not good, too. Oh, in a society that lives based off my image, there would be no alcohol. So, for those of you who love that, you can still drink, but I cannot imagine you drinking to the point that you send your mind to hell. You would still be reasonable, and it's like someone out there says that being drunk doesn't really change you, it just amplifies who you are. So I guess going by that logic, the quietness would be amplified because I guess I would be the opposite of society. But but given that I'm a quiet person, like in the in a normal setting, not here in the channel because this is my show, so I can be however I want. But yeah, the reality of it is that if your senses really do get amplified, then I guess I would be beyond mute if everyone decides to just drink. But there would absolutely be no accidents due to drinking and driving because even if I just had a very, very, very wee sip, I don't know, I gave myself time and I'm like, I'm not doing this. And really, the main thing that keeps me away from drinking, besides the fact that I just genuinely do not like the taste, is the fact that I like to be in optimal conditions at all times. Given that I'm a driver, and you guys know that I love to drive like a lot, so I don't want to be like, I shouldn't drive because, have I, how much have I drunk? Like, how much have I had to drink? Am I in optimal conditions? I don't want to be having to think about that. I just want to be like, oh, I gotta go somewhere. Hell yeah! I grab my keys and I go. But to have to think about it is pretty meh, if you ask me. Uh, so yeah, just don't drink. Well, I'm not saying don't drink, but don't drink and drive. Let's see. As long as you spew your beer is all good. Hey Zemriev, God bless you. Thank you so much. Don't spew. Drunk driving caused so much death. I know, right? Women can drive now in Saudi Arabia. If everyone behaved like you, Zemri, the world would be a better place. I appreciate that. Very humbling. But I would not encourage a world that behaves like me, although it's, in my view, of course, because this comes from me, it's my utopia. A world without so much noise is just amazing. But at the same time, there's beauty to people being different, people being loud, people being obnoxious, people misbehaving and whatnot, and daring to break the rules. But the aspect of it that just stinks is when disaster happens and then those people become all regretful and apologetic. And I'm like, no, you should have seen those consequences happening before you decided to act like a fool. So, in a world where you're behaving like me, I have considered that before even considering the naughty deed that would lead to those consequences. So, anyway, people should behave like George Carlin. I cannot say I know who that is. Please stay safe, Zamri, and others too. Pray before you leave. My mother does that. I love it when she tells me how she's always like praying before she starts her day. For me, I don't necessarily pray the way that I believe you think of praying as, which is, like uh, mentioning God and stuff. For me, it's more of a, how can I put this into words? Let's put it this way. I get home, I finish my day, and although I'm not actively praising the Lord and giving thanks, I feel grateful that I had a good day, that everything went well, and that I'm at home safe, healthy, and all that. It's just that I'm not very vocal about it. My mother is incredibly vocal about it. She's always like, I'm gonna eat, so thank you, Lord, this and that. But, I'm pretty much the silent, appreciative person. But nowadays, I'm trying to do better about particularly appreciating people directly and saying why I appreciate them. Because for me personally, an appreciation goes such a long way. Because I feel like most of us are so spoiled in a sense that we take stuff for granted. So I wouldn't like for something to happen to me and then for someone to just not know how much I appreciated them. So if you can just take 3 seconds to just say to someone, I appreciate you because you helped me with, I don't know, my laundry, then even though that's probably not it, but just whatever it is that someone does for you that helps you, just tell them. Like, if you had, for me, more often than not, is when I have like my stressed out days where I become overwhelmed. Just having someone to talk to helps so much, especially someone who's inspiring and encouraging and just expressing that what I do they find amazing and that they're proud of me. That just goes a long way. So that's what I'm trying to do on my end as well. So I say that to my colleagues, I say that to those in my personal life, and it really goes a long way. So I would encourage you guys to try that. To try that if it's not something you do and you feel like you need a little boost in your life, especially your personal life. So yeah. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Oh, hell, where did I leave off? I hate people being on the phone talking and texting their heads be so down. I didn't realize light is green. Yes, oh my god, those stupid delays because people's alcoholism, like to texting, textaholism, prevented them from noticing what's happening on the road. Like, seriously, you have no idea how ever changing the road is. Like, when you take a second to look down, something has happened. Like, a car that you didn't notice before is incoming, that you are like, where's this coming from? It's not supposed to be there. It's like your perception of time and thus motion is altered. So just don't be distracted. Focus on the road. I know it's tough because trust me, I want to be like glued to my phone the whole time. But when I'm driving, either I have a plan already on how to set up my phone, like I have Bluetooth installed, so if I need to be really talking to someone, I make a verbal call as opposed to like texting all the time. Well, that's what calling is, to use your voice, not verbal call. But anyways, you see what I mean? I am never looking at my phone and trying to set it up, like pushing a button or something. All I'm doing is readjusting it or like activating Siri, just pushing the button to dial someone. But I'm never trying to scramble and look and try to set something up because I cannot do it. As great of a multitasker that I am, when a vehicle is in motion and then your surroundings are changing and the act of driving itself requires a special kind of concentration, you just cannot afford to be distracted, especially by something that requires your attention as well. Because for me, using my phone while actively trying to listen to someone and also walk, it can be challenging sometimes. I look at what I just typed and I'm like, if I listen to what the person is saying, I have more errors when I have typed. Now, if I'm focusing on what I'm typing, I missed out on what the person was telling me. You know, humans, I don't think, are designed to be multitasking like that yet, but if we keep this up at the rate that we're going, many years from now, we may evolve to where we may adapt to be able to multitask like this, but it's just not how we were designed. So we are only now in our baby stages of getting used to this lifestyle that we have with technology implemented and all that good stuff, you know? So, anyways, I'm just rambling now. But yeah, you guys, that's basically the more, to put it in basic terms, that's how I think life would be if everyone just thought and behaved like me. The world would be quieter, there would be fewer accidents, and what else did I say? Um, I just think the world would be a little more orderly because people would respect objects, rules, and behavior in public settings would also be just better. But remember, I am voicing this from my perception. So what's the definition of what's better for me may not match yours. Maybe you do need noise around you because it makes you happy or it keeps you focused or it makes you feel like you're more alive or something. For me, it stresses me out and it could be the introvert in me. But in a world where everyone behaves like me, it doesn't mean that all of you who inhabit it have to be introverted like me. Nah, there will be the extroverts as well. But I feel like even they wouldn't be as noisy. I guess they just wouldn't have that extra shyness like I have it. It's just a little bit of a different manifestation, put it that way. All right, guys, I will conclude my rambling here. I really don't have anything else that I can think of that I want to say. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts if you catch the stream later and if you make it to the end. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.